Data analytics gives you the advantage of getting to answer questions in a faster time. In esports, you have a topic where all those technologies can be applied with an actual great purpose.
VP versus Secret, and we know a lot of people are going to be tuning in right now for the first time, so I figured that to catch everybody up, I tried to make a flow diagram to accurately describe how the entire tournament has played out. So as you can see here, we started in groups, and then we moved to the best of ones.
Rich, I know you're new to Dota, buddy, but this didn't work out so well for the last guy that did it.
I actually kind of feel like an ass right now. If we could take a look at the brackets instead, do we have those ready right now to take a peek just to see? Yeah, thank you. Nahaz, does anything jump off the page to you here? Because VP and Secret, these two teams, hands down, have played some of the most exciting matches that we've seen in the tournament.
This is about as close a matchup as there is in professional Dota right now. If you go back all the way to TI8, they are exactly 8-8 in their last 16 games. They played each other in 2 series at the KL Major. This is a rematch, second straight major where these two will have appeared in the winter bracket final. And even at KL, they were exactly 4-4, with Secret taking it 2-1 and then VP taking it 3-2 in the grand final.
We can even start talking about what we've seen with VP in this tournament, because their head-to-head matchup with LGD in the past wasn't looking that hot, and then they have their coach, and all of a sudden, my goodness.
They made those games look easy. Yeah. It was actually pretty crazy. Our Zeke played incredibly well. They seem to have a lot of synergy working together, and I mean, we'll see if that same synergy comes out with Solo. I think it should, but my one concern is I know I was talking a little bit to them last night. I actually was like hanging out with Ramses, and he said they're not all feeling the best. He said Solo's feeling better, but he said now Roger's not feeling 100% too, but we'll see. I didn't get to talk to him today, hopefully.
That's usually how it goes, though. I mean, all of a sudden, one person on your team does get sick, and you're touching the same keyboards, you're touching the same, and then all of a sudden, like if a caster gets sick, for example, every single caster gets sick. It spreads like the plague.
That's usually me.
Yeah.
It is. Yes.
But ultimately, now that they are at somewhat full strength, what do we expect from them? The fact that they at least have all the players they intended to have in seats.
I mean, I think you expect it to be a 2-1 series. I would have said after KL, despite VP prevailing in the grand finals, I liked Secret a little bit more in terms of the form that they showed throughout the event. But I am worried a little bit by what we've seen so far at this event, because Secret were beaten pretty convincingly by LGD in the group phase, and then VP sent home LGD with their coach 2-0. And Dota is not transitive, guys, but in terms of the eye test, VP have been the best team at the tournament.
I do feel that, though. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with everything, but right now I'm feeling like the rise of the hyper carries, the rise of these like super carries is like the biggest thing now, right? In the beginning of the tournament, we were seeing it, but it wasn't to the extreme now, where it's like Medusa and Terrorblade every game, Morphling 2 thrown in there, and that's where I feel like Secret actually can thrive, because Nisha is Nisha on the Medusa, Nisha on the Morphling. Those are his just specials.
I do have to say, I think it's so important to actually hear how they're feeling right now on the side of VP, and luckily we do have an interview queued up and ready. Let's hear how VP's feeling.
Hi guys, I'm here with No One from Virtus.pro. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
Tell me about the current situation. How's Solo feeling?
He's much better. He's actually playing in the practice now, so I think he'll be fine.
And what about Roger? Because I've heard that he also has some issues.
Actually, I'm not sure, because I didn't saw him, but I heard that like he has a temperature like 39 yesterday, and today is like he's a bit better.
So let's remember that game against LGD when you played with your coach, with Arzik. What were you thinking before the start of that match? What did you expect it?
Actually, I was thinking that it will be super fun, and exciting, and I was excited.
Did you expect that you will win this? It's 2-0.
Not 2-0, but I expect that we can win. So, I mean, happens what happens.
What can you say about Arzik as a player?
He's good.
He's good. Because some didn't expect that from him, probably.
He doesn't want to play, and he said, like, I don't want to play anymore, so please, just be healthy, Solo, be healthy.
So he wants to be a coach, right?
Yes.
What can we expect from you in the main event? And what do you plan on this stage of the tournament?
I mean, we expect that we can just show our game, and that's all.
Are there any chances we will see you in your roster without any changes?
I think that we'll play like we played before, Solo Roger. But I'm not sure. I can't say much. Like it depends on the situation.
Yes, I understand. Your first game is against Secret. So they said that last time in Kuala Lumpur they won that match in the first day of the main event, and then they lose in the grand final. And they went to do the opposite. What do you think about that matchup?
It doesn't matter. I'm like whatever. Like it's just a match. So it's not like not some retails. Like whatever happens whatever happens in the grand finals, it's kind of like I'm not sure how to say it. It's not connected.
No, it's not connected. It's not important. All right, thank you very much. I wish you all the luck.
That's all?
That's all. I wish you all the luck in the main event. Yeah, good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Arzik, after they beat LGD, says, yeah, I'm pretty confident that we're going to be able to win if I'm playing. So it doesn't care who's playing. They are confident in winning. And this is an attitude that we've seen from them throughout the year. They are incredibly confident. Vogt, how important do you think that is here?
Oh, it definitely is. I mean, Secret, like we said, they're the best team here besides VP, I would say at least. It's gonna be crazy, and I'm really looking forward to just core matchups. I love watching these core players play versus each other. I want to see how the difference of like the Yapsor and Roger can play into this one too. Just how much like the farm separation, because it's pretty different the way that they prioritize in these teams. Like Yapsor gets so much more than Roger does.
Yeah, and one of the things that I look at as we start getting into Secret and getting into the draft is that the hero pool of VP transitioned a lot easier between 7-1-9 and 7-2-0 than a lot of the other teams. Like Secret had a lot of their best picks taken away in the new patch, and when you start talking about the draft variety for them, you wonder if it's them showing variety, or if it's they're kind of looking for answers. But you know, that guy you saw in the interview, Ramses and No One, the two young cores for VP, there are 205 players that have 100 or more Pro Dota 2 LAN appearances all time. No One and Ramses are #1 and #2 in average KDA on that list, sitting around 6.5. Nobody else is even close.
And you're saying that it seems like it might be their meta. That is very, very scary to be playing against. But Secret, let's talk about these guys. We haven't gotten to put the spotlight on them yet. They've definitely looked great every time that we have gotten to check in with them, but they are at full strength. So let's talk about this roster and how they typically do like to play the game. Do you feel like we still can expect that variety from Secret?
I think so. I mean, they 35 heroes picked in the tournament coming into today is the most of any team. I think eHome with 31 is the only other team above 30. But again, is that showing variety, or is that looking for answers? You never really know with these hero stats. One of the odd things about Secret is you look at their drafts. They really don't play much Tusk. They, out of 11 drafts, they've picked it once, and it was actually Puppy who played it, not Yapsor. They've banned it themselves 4 times, and they've had it first phase banned against them once. So they're not prioritizing that hero like a lot of the other teams. And when you get late into these tournaments, right, having one team that plays a particular super meta hero when another doesn't actually can be pretty decisive in these drafts.
What's your thought about the Tusk lately? I've actually been, I was sitting back, like sitting with Bulba and stuff too, and we're looking, and I'm like, this Tusk, I think the hero's still incredibly strong. I'm not going to take anything away from that, but he does seem like he falls off. He still has the nature of the hero, where your laning phase is amazing, you put so much pressure on, but mid-game comes, you don't really apply too much team fight. You're a BKB piercing disable and stuff, but...
Before we dive into that, let's actually see if we can glean anything from what Secret has to say about how they feel in this meta.
Hi guys, I'm here with Poppy, the Team Secret's captain. How can you describe the group stage and playoff for Team Secret?
Group stage was hard, lost to LGD, almost lost to Forward Gaming. Main stage, I mean, we haven't been in the main stage yet, but playoff 2 matches we played, Liquid had to play with a stand-in, so they're weaker, sadly. It wasn't really like the matchup that I was hyped for, because they played bad, obviously, and I think eHome also kind of screwed up, and we just outplayed both of our enemies.
Maybe you can say that someone surprised you among all the teams.
LGD surprised us how good they were that day. I thought we would be able to maybe win them, basically. And well, VP proved that they can win them with a stand-in even. So I don't know. Maybe it was just a bad day for us overall.
If tomorrow you would play the grand final, and today you should you could pick your opponent in the grand final, who would it be? If you're not superstitious about that.
VP, man.
VP, man, you want revenge.
We gotta fight it out. We gotta fight it out with VP.
Your teammate said once in the live interview the day before that you're gonna meet VP in your next game, right? In the playoff, in the main stage. So it's kind of the repeat of the situation in Kuala Lumpur. So you've win them on the first game, and in the grand final you lose. So they said that it's gonna be the other way.
Yeah, we're gonna do the other way around.
You're gonna do the other way. This is the plan.
We'll see.
We'll see. I wish you good luck in the main stage, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Definitely can't blame them there. I think you would want to switch that order and grab the grand final. And if they do, that would probably mathematically secure their place at TI, right?
Yeah, they win this series, and they are, I believe, mathematically into TI. In fact, yeah, I think they're right on that threshold.
Yeah,
but they would be in.
So very big matchup for them right now. I think they can maybe be a little bit happy that maybe we don't see VP at their complete strength, but at the same time, you can hear a little bit of a rivalry between these two squads. They want to play each other twice. They want to prove that they are the better team. But I want to get back to what you were talking about before we got to jump into the interview. You were mainly focusing on that Tusk. Where do you weigh in on the matter?
I mean, I think the hero is very strong. It's just he hits a point. It's like you have to have a very successful early game. And I've been seeing a lot of times where he ends up, it's a Tusk versus an Earth Spirit, let's say, in the game. And it ends up being that this Earth Spirit, it hits mid-game, and this Earth Spirit is controlling the whole team fight. It's a Tusk who's just running around, controlled by a Silence, or hit by a Magnet, or hit by something, and unable to really contribute in the team fight. So that's my one concern about that one hero, and where I feel like it also just doesn't fit Secret to me. Like, it fits Puppey, right? But YapzOr playing as Tusk?
Oh, I don't know,
right?
man.
Like, I don't know. I feel like I see him playing other stuff.
When you look at all of the playmaking fours over the last even like 3 or 4 years of Dota, when you look at your Jeraxes, your Crits, your FYs, all of them are great Tusk players.
Yeah.
And YapzOr definitely fits that mold. I think personally that it's been, some of it's been the laning meta, that with Tri-Lanes, or at least the threat of Tri-Lanes on board in so many of these games, Tusk gets locked in, and he can't win you 2 lanes anymore, like you saw so often at the minor.
Yeah, I don't know. I think YapzOr, of course. I think Rubik, but I also think Earth Spirit. I think Elder Titan. I think these like team fighters is where he can be really flashy inside of like the mid game rather than just inside of the laning phase.
Now, on the subject of heroes and also hero diversity, today has been quite an interesting day. 6 new heroes. So my question is, as much as we say, okay, are they trying to figure something out? Is this just scrambling? Or are we just seeing teams actually trying to throw other teams off guard?
Yeah, so I'm going to answer that question, to be honest. I don't know, because today, coming into today, there were 81 heroes picked in 76 matches at the major so far. Compare that to 82 heroes in only 47 matches at the Bucharest Minor. So a notable decrease in variety from what we saw just a week ago in the same patch. But all of a sudden, we get 6 new heroes today, and you do have to ask the question, saving strats is a thing, regardless of whether or not you like it or not. It's a thing at these majors, and when you see heroes, especially like PL, who have sort of disappeared from the meta in this tournament and still look good in a lot of these drafts, you do wonder.
I feel like that'll happen a lot too in these tournaments. Just when teams they're looking to the late game.
Right.
We're just like, oh god, we're getting to main stage. We have to be able to play super late, and we have to start coming up with these heroes that can actually play versus these powerhouse monsters like the Terrorblade. We went literally back to the major. We went back to the last major with Arc Warden and Phantom Lancer versus Terrorblade. Right. It literally was a repeat of the last time that we saw.
Well, look at these game times, even just with these 2 teams, right? 34 minutes, 32 minutes. Yeah. The average before we got to the later parts of this tournament was below 34 minutes. And all of a sudden today, we're sitting down and we're seeing much longer games. We're seeing teams gear up with their lineups to play for the late game. Is this something that we expect at all majors? Is this just teams saying, okay, we're playing on the main stage. Not only do we want to have that insurance, but we want to have the best insurance policy for the late game possible.
So it always happens naturally at these events that when you get down to the later stages of the tournament, not only with more on the line, but also with the best teams, the games do tend to go later. Rarely is it this pronounced, okay? Coming in today, even with that 58-minute match earlier today, we're still under 35 minutes of average match time. We're still right in line with what we saw at the Bucharest Major, which which is really unusual when you compare the caliber of teams at the two events. So I think, yes, there's going to be a lot more attention paid to late game insurance in these drafts, but I think tempo is still going to play a huge role.
Yeah.
Okay, so tempo definitely still going to play that role. We're going to have to see if maybe that does appear in this draft as well. But I think it's interesting, too, to look at some of the heroes like Magnus, right? It's such a defined thing where at the beginning of the tournament, we see them all of the time, and then all of a sudden, Magnus is extinct, right? And that does that seem like it indicates hiding strategies, or is that teams actually figuring out this doesn't work?
I think people definitely that you figure it out. You'll try a hero. You see people like you see a Magnus and people are like, oh yeah, this team won, and then somebody else picks, like we saw like the Rubik picked up, and we're like, we kind of expected that would come, and then we see the success of what happens in a lot of those games with Rubik versus Magnus. He's just a better Magnus in most of the situations. So I do think teams figure out. They watch each other. They're like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. Let's do it ourselves.
Yeah, it's kind of like three factors at play then, right? You have certain things are just figured out. They don't maybe work the way that we thought they were going to in the patch and in the meta that forms at the major. Then we have actually the fact that, okay, we're later in the tournament. We might be playing for these later games. And then also, maybe some strats have been hidden. Do you think that these two teams in particular would be teams, we know that they're going to be observant of the entire field of play, but do you think that these are teams that would try to hide strats?
Oh, yeah. And the interesting thing about it is that so often those hidden strats are just old strats that come back.
Okay.
Like, you look at Secret, right? Secret has an active 6-game winning streak on Weaver, a hero that we've seen them only feature once at this event, and they played it on 4 different players. So it's like a hyperflex pick for them. Those are the kinds of wrinkles that I expect them to bring back as they get later into a tournament.
I totally agree. I think that's for me is why I was like, I'm leaning a little bit more towards Secret. I think VP is probably a little bit more of like a team that more consistent, I would say. I think Secret has that X factor where they're just bringing up Bruce support, tiny support, and or like tiny 5 position. People are going to be thrown off of it. I think that's also where mid one comes into play, where he sometimes just pops off, and sometimes he doesn't. He has the direct opposite factor.
Yeah, he's definitely looked a little bit more high variance, especially in this patch. And again, I'm having trouble parsing that last series against LGD because I had LGD very highly rated coming into this event, and VP just made those games look pretty easy, even with a coach at the 5 position.
Well, Haj, you already mentioned it too. It is one of those things where the eyeball test is probably more valuable. Taking some of these matchups and actually just trying to say, okay, like, let's transfer results. Definitely difficult to do, especially when you do look at the team matchups. And I hate to bring it up again, but VP not at full strength. Do they go for something that maybe isn't a hidden strategy? Do they maybe focus on, okay, what's easy to execute? Is that something that you think they do when they're not feeling great?
Well, first of all, I'd love to have somebody confirm because I'm not sure who will be playing and who will not be playing for VP. If we could confirm that from production, I would love that. But yeah, I think certainly the Jakiro pick, for example, in Game 2 of the series against LGD was definitely geared toward Arseek, and I think that your draft pool changes. But the 5-position pool tends to be very condensed in these metas anyway. So I think having a stand-in at that particular position is a little bit less impactful vis-a-vis your draft.
Well, one confirmation, though, is that Solo is playing. Sorry to cut you
he
off.
is.
No,
Right.
just
No
here.
problem.
Yeah.
I think the one thing is too is like, even if they are like not feeling well, the 2 ones to me that are the 3 ones that matter the most to me is their cores. It's the Ramses, the No One, and Pasha, and at least they're feeling good.
Sure, I am all about the 3 and 4 matchup in this series because I think Zai had just a magnificent game the other day, to really a game that it looked like they were going to go the distance in that series, and he just kind of put away Game 2, right? And I think the core position, the 4-position matchup here is as good, certainly, as you will see outside of China and probably anywhere in professional Dota. I mean, the Yapsor Rubik, we haven't really gotten a chance to kind of break down a Yapsor Rubik game at the desk yet with you, Rich, but that hero is the most successful player-hero combination since you go all the way back to TI6. Since then, he has 71 wins. Nobody else is. I think there's only one other over 65.
Well, we talk about the past a lot when you're talking about putting that extra focus on the 3-4 matchup. What is it about how these two teams go head-to-head that you're also focused on the 3-4 matchup, not just looking at the past?
Well, they play it different. Like Yapsor, they're play like 2 3.5s on the side of Secret, while on the side of VP, you can see just a straight split up of a 3 and a 4. Pasha's going to be way more farmed than Roger, so it's just how much space they can do with different amounts of farm.
I'm really getting excited to jump into this. The draft's going to be ready shortly here, and we've started to talk quite a bit about, okay, what is going to happen in the draft. We can see that it could go pretty much any way, but before we do actually get into the draft, I just want to talk about the tournament as a whole and those trends a little bit more. Has anything surprised you that really stands out since the minor, right? The minor was one of the little tiny tidbits that we got when we were trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to see at the major? And obviously, that kind of gets thrown out the window pretty quickly. Has anything surprised you, Nahaz?
I would say today, honestly, I was all on board with those hero variety stats last night, looking at the meta, and it goes beyond the raw numbers, right? I don't want to bore anybody, but the hero variety in this tournament has been shockingly low. It's been the lowest at any Dota 2 major for the last 2 years. And then all of a sudden today, we get these 6 new heroes trotted out. And, you know, other than maybe the Leshrac, Winter Wyvern had been terrible in this patch. Winter Wyvern was 10-34 in this patch, and all of a sudden Jazz makes it look playable.
And
he played really well that game, too.
He did. He really did.
Well that game.
We heard in his interview, too, he was like, at the beginning I didn't feel so good, and then all of a sudden in the mid-game I waited, was able to crack things up and was able to figure out how to win on that character. But some of these characters, too, were played together, right? We saw 2 of them broken out at the same time. But, folks, we're going to be ready in just a few short seconds here to get into the draft. But first, we need to see these 2 powerhouses make their way onto the stage. It's going to be VP versus Secret.
Please welcome on stage Team Secret.
VP versus Secret. This is one of the most exciting matchups. Both of them have been the teams to put on some of the most miraculous performances that we've already seen. The main event has just started, and you already look at these 2 teams, and you start saying, are we getting a first glimpse at what we're going to see in the grand final? Both of these teams already so close to securing their road to the TI. VP, they've already done it. And now we're going to see if Secret can lock up this series and grab it for themselves. Sitting down right now, going to be VP. We've already started to talk quite a bit about the styles of these 2 teams, how they actually go head-to-head, but right now, you know, I'm kind of just sitting here and trying to see if anyone's coughing or anything, you know?
I know, that's exactly what I was doing. It looked like they were trying to do, like, I saw them, like they're kind of, like, helping Roger walk a little bit, and then they stand outside the booth for a second, let each other walk by. So, I mean, VP, they look like they're feeling in good spirits.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see as it goes down the line, right? Like,
yeah, there is Solo. He's in the booth, and nobody looked like obviously green.
Solo's not who we're worried about, though, right? From what we've heard.
He's recovered. Yeah, we heard it was Roger yesterday that had a little bit of an illness.
A little bit of an eye boogie.
Yeah.
Is that a portent for doom?
Sure, he's okay.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Everybody gets eye burgers every now and then.
It's just such a big deal to me, though, because if you remember last year, right? I mean, the arrival of Roger was really what put VP over the top from being a team that had disappointed at the previous TI to just the super team that started crushing at these majors. I mean, he was the freaking, he got a Mercedes-Benz the first tournament that he played with the team.
Yeah, and they all even said it, too. They just, every single one of them said it at that tournament. I think the next one, too, they were like, yeah, Roger's MVP. He's the one who's bringing these games in for us.
And I wish I could get a Mercedes first time sitting down at the desk with you guys. But I will say, Roger right now, You know, he's got the hoodie on.
He looks a little gloomy, a little bit.
Everybody else looks
Everyone else
great.
looks very yeah, okay, maybe he's still feeling a little
Everybody else looks like they exfoliated, moisturized today. They're all rearing and ready to go. But, yeah, Roger maybe does look a little bit tough. We're going to have to see in the game, though. It's definitely. We got our answer, right?
I think we got our answer.
Hey, other series we've been talking about, like which hero gets picked first. Now we're talking about will someone hurl. Great.
Hey, you know, you take what you can get.
Analysis.
Yeah. Hey, it's important, man. We got to take a look at every single factor here, but we already took into account VP. The only factor that we haven't taken into account right now since they took their seats is going to be Secret. So let's dive in, talk about Secret a little bit more. We are going to see Pasha on our screen right now. But
By the way, Kyle has started to beat this drum, and I kind of think he's on board. He's calling Pasha the most important core of VP. If you look at the emphasis in this tournament, especially the last couple of days, the teams have put on shutting down the off lane, where when you're delaying these items like Vlad's, Crimson Guard, Pipe, all of a sudden those early 20-minute engagements feel so much easier.
I feel like Pasha's always been like that for this team. He's just been, he's very concrete. Their three cores. Their three cores for me just always have been extremely concrete. They're not volatile. Like when you think of VP, you don't think that they're like, you just don't think that. You just think consistency. And Pasha is definitely one to bring the team together, even if other people are having a bad game. I feel like I never see him just straight feeding.
Yeah, you know, I have learned one thing on this desk, definitely. Anytime I hear someone willing to go out on a limb and agree with Kyle, it's a fact. Like if I hear analysts agreeing with Kyle, I'm like, okay.
That is not a bad rule.
It's never been wrong. It's never been wrong. We saw Nisha a little bit earlier. Nisha is one of those guys that has just gone off several times. It was like, what, a triple rampage a little bit earlier in the week. So definitely someone to keep our eye on. Now we're going to see Puppy up on our screen. These guys, all healthy. Maybe a little bit nervous. Oh, wait, they get separate booths, so they don't have to worry about that. Handshakes might be a little bit scary at the end of the game, you know.
No, they've been seeming like, just watching them, like, I mean, we've been interacting with them a little bit. They seem pretty confident. They do just seem confident. Like their whole overall like appeal, like their aura, I feel like when they're walking around, I feel it. They seem very confident.
I mean, you rarely see a Puppy team that's not, though.
This is true.
That's why he's had the success that he's had over such a long period of time, is that his teams seem like they come into these events, they're never too high, they're never too low.
But look at both of these teams, right? If you were going to pick the most confident players here, you would pick every single person on both of these rosters. Even with everything going on with VP, they still seem very confident. Yes, Secret seems confident as well. And they both respect each other. Every time that we've had an interview, they're saying, yeah, like, we're going to try to switch up the order this time. Like, they already expect the other team to go to the grand final. They expect to play this match and then have the rematch. And that level of confidence is remarkable to see. And that is one of the reasons that we've seen them put on some of the best Dota that we've seen at this tournament. But also, I feel like some of that best Dota that they've put on in the tournament is one of the reasons they're so confident. So it's just a cycle that may continue itself as they try to get their trajectory to the grand final. One team goes straight there after this best of three. The other one needs to drop down to the lower portion of the bracket to fight their way back up for the rematch.
I'm so looking forward to these openers. I really want to see what they actually go for. Is it going to be more of like this full team fight that's coming out? Are they going to go for, will they go for the Jakiro? Will that only be our Zeeks? Are they going to do some Darkseer Jakiro? It seemed very strong in the game. Just, it's been a combo that's been around. I mean, I used to run that combo back when I played all the time with Universe. That was literally our special. And it's pretty strong. And Darkseer is definitely on the rise. He definitely has a lot of different ways that he can be played, a lot of different heroes he can combo with.
That's like the hero that's, it seems like for the past 2 or 3 years at TI, he's like out of the meta and he just always comes back at TI because he's such a reliable laner and team fighter.
And also when you mention things like the Jakiro, I start to think down the line that Nahaz was going, if they're hiding any strategies, maybe it's stuff that we used to see. Maybe that is what's in store for us, and we're going to find out very shortly as this initial wave of bans does go out. But instantly tapping into the reserve time is going to be Secret, and they're going to stop that as soon as I say it to make sure that I don't look too smart.
I got to say, we talked a lot about Virtus.pro's coach, Azik. The guy standing with the headphones on behind Puppy, Sunby, has been a great fit for Secret. It is not easy to be a coach for a long period of time with a team, with a captain like Puppy, who's a very, very strong personality. And Sunby, he's very smart guy, knows a lot about Dota, but he's also soft-spoken. Yeah. He's kind of content during drafts to just sit back and throw the occasional idea in. I think it's a great fit.
Exactly. I think that's like the perfect person for Puppy, because he is a very, I mean, not, I wouldn't say like screaming, but he's a loud personality, right? He is he will take over. And it's good. Like, he doesn't need somebody to tell him exactly what to do. Puppy has an idea, a little bit of a, a little bit of a hint, and he's just like, oh, okay, I'll take it into consideration.
And also one of the things that you talk about a lot when you do have a coach, it's how is their thought process different than one of the vocal players on the team? What do they really offer? How do they force the team into situations that they want to get to on their own? So finding that balance, absolutely crucial, Nahas.
Interesting. The Undying ban is a little bit of a surprise. This is a hero that's struggled mightily in this tournament. Not good stats. It's one of the 5, I believe one of the 5 lowest win percentage heroes in the patch, only 39 and 63. And a first phase ban on that is a little bit surprising.
I'm wondering, I mean, we've seen so many tri-lanes. It's literally tri-lane versus tri-lane, so I'm feeling like it could be one of those regions. And Solo, I think he's one of the more successful Undyings, though, even though it's not been having the best.
Yeah, you look at his record on heroes like Undying, like Ogre.
Is Io going to make it through?
I think that's what VP is talking about right now.
Yeah, it looks like they're considering, and they ban AM.
Wow, and Io is the only hero. I believe Io's been picked or banned in every game in this tournament, and in fact, it's first phase. If he's not banned in one of the first opening 6, he's been first picked every time.
Yep, and I don't think it'll be any different here.
No, I
it's
don't
just
think
now
so
it's
either.
like Secret's probably like, because I think VP notices, does Secret play the IO that much? They don't really play it that much. They do play it, but they don't favor it super heavily.
And Yapsor's IO is very good, but he is probably half a step below like GH, right? And that may be just the certainty. They're not going to do it.
Take it. They're not going to open with it.
They're gonna open with one of those flex picks.
So IO Gyro, right? And then does that? But the thing is, though, are they just going to pick the Morphling right afterwards with the Tiny if the IO Gyro comes out? Do they want to go for something like that?
Man, they haven't even started playing yet. We're just in the draft.
Yeah,
it's already so spicy.
You know what?
IO's left in the pool.
And they're just going to ignore it.
Is he just not going to get picked? That would be insane, right? Like,
wow, Tuskman. That's the other crazy thing that's happened today. The first phase cores.
Look at that.
Cores were less than 30% of picks in the first phase coming into today. In fact, it's like barely over 25.
Now you're expecting Morphling here?
Not anymore.
No, not anymore. That was a Gyro.
Okay.
Yeah. They could just go back for they could go back for IO themselves.
They could indeed.
Why not?
They're not going to want
it. Okay, ET. Wow.
We're not getting. This is the first time no first phase IO.
Yeah,
and he probably might not even be picked in this now because of this.
A lot of the teams too that did let it through, we heard whether it was in interviews, it was like, yeah, of course we knew it was going to get through. We were ready to play against it. It's better to have that opponent that you do know instead of an unmasked foe. Is that the reason that the IO gets through, or is it because you think they go, okay, well, they don't really play it all that often?
I think that's exactly what VP was thinking for me, because I see Secret, and yeah, like you said, they play it well, but it's not my like, oh my God, Secret's an amazing IO Gyro team, or an IO team. I always say IO Gyro because it just like instantly comes out like that. But I feel like VP, I don't think they really want to play it either. They're gonna play their own game.
All right, so VP and Team Secret already have
banning out the Keeper.
Yeah.
So why ban out the
Keeper's been
Coddle?
one of VP's staple picks.
It's amazing with Medusa. It's absolutely insane. You can make a more constant Mystic Snake, and you're always feeding her mana inside of her mana shield, which is like double health, of course.
So taking out that Coddle, already both of these teams showing not only a game plan, but the fact that they know each other incredibly well.
Definitely. And the AM ban, OD ban. The AM was first phase, of course.
Really interesting too, because AM, his stats against Medusa are just horrible.
Yeah.
He's 4-11 overall at this event, and he's just struggled mightily against Medusa in this patch, a hero that historically he's countered.
Yeah. I'm glad. I was talking about Yapsor Elder Titan. I'm actually really glad they did it. Especially seeing the last game. I was a lot on like, oh my God, Liquid's team fight's really strong, and then I saw like the combo that can actually come out, just ET Tiny. They just kill somebody instantly with natural order plus a combo from Tiny. They're just dead.
Yeah, the only wrinkle with that Elder Titan thrown in is that we all but know this is going to be a core Tiny. And more than likely,
do we?
Yeah.
You don't think Puppy can play a 5 Elder Titan?
I see. You think Puppy might rotate under the Elder Titan with
I think maybe.
I think
it's not. I think it's more than likely what you're saying. It's more than likely a core Tiny, but I think there's still. I mean, Puppy's one of those guys. He's just like whatever.
I mean, how do you lane that?
Yep. As an ET spammer, Fogged, do you think that 5 would be strong?
It's much better on the 4. You want him to have items, so I'd imagine it. I mean, I'd imagine it's Yapsor, but yeah, you can't.
Yeah. Both these heroes really need items as the 4. That's the big thing.
Yeah. Conkaban. Might be the
I like the
spiciest draft
Conkaban.
I've
That's
seen so far.
the recognition that, Secret is showing potential really strong team fight.
It's also one of Midwin's best heroes.
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, Rum versus Deuce is actually very strong. You can completely counteract that Stone Gaze if you're able to get it off at the same time.
Rum versus anybody.
Rum versus anybody. I mean, Rum is just always
ridiculous.
such a crazy ability.
Right, so we're seeing strong team fight come together early on the side of Secret. Another pick coming in for VP. It's gonna be
Okay.
Lich.
Lich is left through.
So Lich is kind of
my God.
shifted from the first phase to the second.
Lich Medusa. I think I
yeah.
saw Lich Medusa owning this. The damage mitigation plus mana, like your mana shield is so much.
Yeah.
And they have a secondary save of
Because it applies, the mana shield math gets done after
the reduction,
and
yeah.
that's the same reason why people used to build Mask of Madness on her. It's,
Yep.
It's insane. I mean, 60% attack damage reduction. And keep in mind that there were a whole bunch of abilities like Juggernaut's Omnislash that are now, and PA's Dagger that are now explicitly counted as attack damage.
Yeah.
Lich getting through second phase. I feel like we've seen it happen a few times.
We have.
Yeah.
Last couple of days, again, it was almost always first phase at the beginning of the tournament.
Well, I feel like every time that we have seen it go second phase, right, it has been one of those higher caliber teams because there's just so much they have to ban out against them.
Right.
Now looking at Secret, how they are going to answer with the Lich. Lich, Medusa, and Tusk.
Do they want to go for something like the Oracle? Do they want to get a Dispel?
Oh, that's too many supports. Though.
Whoa,
What?
a third pick Slark.
This hero's just not a thing.
We saw it once, right? I think we saw it once in the tournament, and every analyst was going, oh, like, it was a fifth pick, and everybody said, oh, this is like an absolute counter. This is a Slark game.
I mean,
They don't have anything to hit
You
him inside of the Shadow Dance.
Yeah.
Really, you can't snowball if you're rooted or if you're whatever the leash.
yeah. It's just, man, okay, you
Third
could
pick,
have
he
have
just
paused
put-
the draft and had me list
Whoa.
heroes for like 2 minutes and Slark
You wouldn't have hit it.
wouldn't have been
Puppy.
anywhere near
It's
there.
Puppy, right?
Yeah,
He's
I know.
He's got an idea right here.
He delights in doing this.
What's the idea gonna be? So I mean, Slark with Elder Titan, you are.
What do you like?
heavily
What is
buffed
he like
up.
in a pick 3 position Magnus or something? And just empower the Slark? I mean,
They're 3 melee already into Lich and Dusa. That can be
so,
kind of scary.
Yeah, I know you've got a lot more options, but I mean, this is what we've been seeing in these AM Dusa battles is that like AM blinks in and he gets hit by Snake and he has no mana.
Same thing can happen to Slark. Just that Snake. It's surprising too because they went for the PA a lot.
You gotta have, like
right?
surely you got if you're picking Slark here, surely you gotta have a steroid, right?
ET can act as a steroid.
Okay, fair enough.
In a way.
Fair enough.
He's gonna go for a BKB eventually in this game, or like Halberd. They're gonna have like BKB Halberd on this Elder Titan. He's gonna run in because that's the way Yapswor's gonna try to play. It's a lot of farm, of course.
Don't you just PA here? No.
You want to see VP just locking a PA.
I mean, I'm certainly not afraid of playing PA against Slark in this patch. Her timings are just so strong.
It's a lot of burst damage, and then you're like.
Yeah,
PA
you got
and-
Tiny.
PA
You got
and
Tiny.
PA and Dusa.
I mean, it's so tempo though. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a Pasha Starladder, and it's a steroid for VP.
Yeah, gives him Roche now.
Yep.
Now, you were asking for the steroid on the side of VP. Now, a little bit of less steroid that can be grabbed by Secret. Do you think that ET is enough in the way of steroids for this lineup?
I do not, but again,
What's the other
it's
options
Puppy.
though for him? Because I don't think they do not want to pick more melee heroes though. They can't if they keep picking melees versus Stone Gaze and Slardar and Chain Frost. The fights are going to be incredibly difficult for them to take.
I agree. What fits as a range tour here? Well, we're okay.
Well, I think we're
gonna
in for a
we
treat
got to get our
still.
second. We got to get our second support, right?
There's no they can't do those two as the supports, right?
No,
They
that
can't.
just feels
No, they
so
can't.
awkward.
Huh.
Is there a way
What,
to
you pick something stupid like Ogre for Bloodlust?
But then they're 4 melee.
Yeah, you're right.
but,
You
like,
can't do that.
I mean, I was thinking like I was still kind of thinking Oracle because it's decent
Yeah.
versus both. You're good in the lane. You're annoying versus Lich.
and
but-
they're very confident with it. They're
And
super
they do
confident
like
with
the
it.
hero.
Both their supports play it really well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's the hero I thought about earlier.
Dude, I think it's gonna be those two. Those are the supports, man. I think it's gonna be Tiny ET
Wow.
supports or something. I
And
don't know.
4 melee.
4 melee right now.
Puppy.
Darkseer on top too. So the wall, we've seen how strong it can be versus Medusa.
With I mean, with everybody building stats this
you know
patch.
what? You did ask for a steroid.
I did, and that works.
Ion Shell's pretty
That
good
works.
on Slark for him to put pressure on.
Well,
This is what both
Grimstroke's already
teams are like,
banned,
oh
so you
God,
can't
right?
have Ion Shell and Inkswell. But
Yeah. This is what happens when you have these, like, just the top 2, top 3 teams playing against you. It's like the mind games really do begin.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And that's why that's why these true sight pieces are so exciting, right? Because you get the insight into that.
Yeah.
And sometimes it really is. Like, we talk so much about hero versus hero matchups, but sometimes it really is just what that player wants to play. Like, I was sitting next to the Fnatic guys, and they asked Dubu coming in, they're like, you know, why did you pick Invoker? And he's like, Abed
asked for it.
He wanted to play it.
Abed wanted to jam it.
Sometimes that's what it comes down to.
I mean, that happens all the time, right? Like, even I'm sure in the situations where EG was playing earlier, they
Yep.
picked an Arc Ward and a PL, right? You have to imagine, yeah, sure, Boba might have thought of it, but Archie's
Archer
probably
was like, I want
he's
that.
like, you know what, this could fit here. I've done this in the past. I literally played this at the last major, so.
And you heard the analysts on our panel, you heard the casters say, hey, we have Arteezy on something he's comfortable on.
Exactly.
We know how big of a threat that it actually can be. We're getting down to the wire here. Each of these teams going to have one more hero in their lineup, and we got to look at what they actually have.
So we're assuming that this is going to be Anisha Slardar. So this is either going to be
What?
Wait, what?
Secret. No, sorry. No, I'm Slark.
Anisha
Slark, not
Slark.
Slark.
I
Not
was like,
Slardar.
what the
I'm
hell?
sorry. Slark. The
Yeah.
hero names are close. So mid 1 heroes or a 5 position. So what do we think for mid 1?
Oh my
If they're
God,
gonna go
I'm
mid.
just thinking of melee heroes.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I keep thinking of melee.
Every hero that I've thought of has been melee.
Versus
I mean,
Dusa.
you have very little setup for Invoker.
5 seconds remaining.
Yes, you could SF.
I mean, they're running
seems so
very,
greedy.
very low on time. They banned the Void, so it could be that Invoker, but
Virtus.pro's
Okay, they're going to
they're gonna PA and Slark.
5
So
melee
mid Slark.
strat.
It's 5 melee versus Medusa, Lich, Slardar.
All right, let's
There's
just,
something we're not thinking about here because that's
Double
Okay.
Ion Shell carriers. They're both amplified.
let's just take
Huh.
let's just take even VP's lineup out of our minds for a second as they pick their 5th hero and just look at Team Secret's low lineup, right? How often do you see something like this come into play?
very, very seldom. It's super greedy. If any one of these heroes falls behind, it's just going to be really rough. And that, oh my,
The Darkseer counter.
yup.
I mean, I'm
Puppy
really,
has something that we have not thought of. Otherwise,
I'm liking VPs. It looks
Oh, God.
much more consistent. But it's exactly what we were talking about before we came, right? Consistent draft. Secret draft looks kind of crazy.
by the way, this is going to be a safe lane. Looks like it might be a safe lane Slardar, or a safe lane Doom, which is going to be boss. Ramses is going to play that either Slardar or Doom safe lane, and it's going to be it's going to crush.
This is the
It's absolutely
phase
gonna crush.
that he had on the entirety of the
I'm just sitting here. I'm like, they actually went 5 melee. It's an actually tiny elder. It was. I said it's probably gonna be a puppy, right?
You called it. I'm surprised it's right.
So am I.
Puppy has something up his sleeve, or
definitely
VP
does.
is just going to romp.
All right, well, I think the analytics are going to be kind of crazy in this one. Luckily, we're going to have SAP backing us up throughout the entirety of these series. But, folks, let's just get into it. We know we are going to see some high-caliber Dota. It's time for VP versus Secret.
Thank you so much, Rich. The panel is befuddled, but Lacoste, my man, don't leave me hanging. Oh, beautiful.
I'm not going to leave you hanging.
The crowd loves the fist bump, and they love the 5 melee strat even more. Puppy's either lost his mind or has become an evil genius. What do you think?
Oh man, Puppy's the most stubborn captain in Dota 2, Dota 1 as well. If he can make it work, he's going to make it work, but I'm a bit afraid. You have 5 melee heroes that you're playing into Medusa, into Slardar, Doom. Man, Virtus.pro's lineup looks so stable. They have good early game, good mid game tower push, and they don't have the best counter for a Slark. Maybe not enough catch, but overall, I would prefer Virtus.pro's lineup.
Yeah, it is going to be Ramses playing on the Doom, so a little bit of a departure from where we've seen this hero play previously, but the panel was talking about it. It's a nice natural counter to the Darkseer. Just eat the creep. Get it out of there.
Just eat it, that's it.
That's it.
I love those counters that start
eat the
with
creep,
just.
forehead. Definitely. We are waiting for the last hero to get into this one, and at least as far as like sort of the problems running a 5 melee strat, what's the issue? What's the problem with running 5 melees? So run it through us.
I don't know. You need to get in range to hit people.
Okay.
It's gonna be tough, man. And their lineup is extremely greedy. You have a Slark, you have a Phantom Assassin. They can't really fight that early on. Phantom Assassin can to one extent, but Slark needs time. He can't just go in and fight. He can't TP, get the return kills. That's gonna be PA's job. So they might need to sacrifice PA's farm, and she would be more active early on.
Yeah, and that's not normally the way that we've seen Nisha play these heroes, as he is on that Phantom Assassin. More often than not, he's been on that Morphling or something. That's the hero that I feel like embodies Nisha's play style of head off across the map, get yourself a couple items, then start to make stuff happen with your team. So you got to look at some of the other casters there. Beautiful stage that we got set up here also. There's like a billion lights out there.
Yeah, look at this screen, man. It's so big. Imagine this screen at your home, like a private cinema.
I like that idea.
Which movie would you watch first?
I would definitely watch Mrs. Doubtfire. It's a good one.
I would definitely not watch the one that Black suggested, but...
All right, Zayas has picked his hero, and now we're going to be heading into this game, it looks like. The other thing to talk about, the Ion Shell on both of those melee cores that just want to get on top of somebody. The Slark, the PA. It's not necessarily a story in terms of helping their farm, but it's like get kills and then make that next move. And that's one thing about Secret's lineup is they're very much not dependent on their cooldowns.
Oh yeah, they can fight all the time. The only big cooldown they have is Elder Titan ulti and Darkseer Wall. So even without that, they can still take a fight. Elder Titan against Medusa in the late game to remove her high armor. That's going to be dope.
Yeah, we've been seeing those ETs go for the BKB and just run into everybody's strat. And obviously, once you have the BKB on you, this hero gets natural armor just by virtue of the Astral Spirit being pulled back in. The laning stage is something else that we're going to have to keep our eyes on. Obviously, if you have a Lich in the middle of a lane, you run forward with like a snowball or something else with a Frost Shield on somebody. It could be a pretty easy kill. Ramses.
Oh, yeah, Ramses. All right.
It's like they're putting me on Doom again. He take off his mask, though, for this game.
Yeah, well, he needs to talk.
That's fair enough. And we are getting ready now to actually hop into this game number 1, Secret versus VP, the rematch of the previous Majors Grand Finals. Already, the movement out to try and get those early wards down. And the tips.
Before we start, just a friendly reminder that you might be using your mobile data instead of a Wi-Fi. Thank me later.
Thank you, I appreciate that. So it is going to be the triple mango, it looks like, and mid 1 heading towards the mid lane on the Slark, taking a mid build. Here we haven't seen mid all that much often, at least in pro games. Occasionally in pubs it happens.
Oh yeah, love me some mid Slarks. Mid Slark coming to your pub to ruin your day, steal your MMR. Did you notice new sponsor from Team Secret, You Win? I don't like the name.
No?
Like, it's We Win. I win.
That's right. It's a good point. If you're saying you win, it's to the other person. Maybe you're saying it to a teammate, and that's how this works. So the boots early. Stout Shield, a billion tangos for Nisha. What are these lanes going to look like? It looks like they're sitting 3 up top by VP.
Yeah, we've seen more and more tri-lanes in this tournament, especially at the later stages. People just want to secure their safe lane farm and have an off-laner they could self-sustain. Especially in the game that EG played Doom, he was so sacked in the lane. At one point, he had like 0-5-0, but still managed to come back.
Yeah, that was insane. I mean, it's both of those off-lane heroes that tend to get sacked, we feel like, unless it's going to be like the tri-lane versus tri-lane, and then you have a 1v1. And then oftentimes people are just creep cutting, and it just gets weird. It tends to happen with Darkseer, I feel like, a lot. But looks like they want to try and get aggressive as they brought Yapster to the bottom lane. Roger wrapping around and maybe setting up for a kill top.
They're going to need to rotate Elder Titan on top because VP is running an aggressive tri-lane, Tusk, Starladder, and Lich. Way stronger than what Team Secret has for sure.
Yeah. Already, Pasha and Roger shows himself. So they reveal what's going on up there top, and as you said, immediately TPing the ET up top.
I'm wondering how this mid-map, okay, top lane, that's going to be a first blood.
Easy. So they take down the Lich, and this hero that's known to be survivable in the laning stage gets punished heavily. It's not where he should have been. And now, stun comes out. They're going to try and deal some damage there onto Puppey, the toss follow. And Puppey wrapped around a pawn with the tag team and the right clicks. It looks like he is going to eat some dust as well.
Solo got caught out of a position. Elder Titan has boots of speed, so they're not going to be able to catch him.
And this has sort of transitioned into that tri-lane versus tri-lane that we were talking about, which obviously Elder Titan loves to be in. Likewise, though, if somebody gets out of position, the Tusk can easily pick somebody off with a couple of right clicks.
Yeah, as for bottom lane, Darkseer's definitely going to farm way more. Doom can't farm that fast. He can't farm jungle and the lane at the same time. He still does not have a creep stolen, no auras.
Oh my god, the toss back there onto Pasha, but they've already eaten the way out. And that's something you're going to have to watch for time and again, is these toss backs coming from Puppey in the tri-lane.
And that's how they got a first blood.
Looks like they're getting the side pull as well. Solo going for the last right hit on it, and I mean, looking at this mid lane, mid one is destroying the Medusa. 12-5 versus the 7-2.
I'm not sure it should go that way. I mean, I like the build on Slark. He has 2 points in Essence Shift and just 1 point in Pounce, and he can use that Pounce aggressively to get some stacks from Medusa.
Yeah, he's been doing a good job of it so far. It does look like Darkseer down bottom here. Zai is just going to be able to keep cutting the creep wave and should have a fine time. But this mid one, Slark, it's having a really big impact here in the mid lane. I guess that probably becomes more difficult as Medusa's levels go up.
Yeah, once Medusa hits level 3, level 5, she's going to steal a lot of mana from Slark and just deal a ton of damage. But once Slark hits level 6, all right, mid lane, Slark trying to man-fight her.
On her, stealing some of those stacks. Gets one more hit there and up to a hell of a lot of base damage. 88 right now.
If you think about it, Slark is a really good counter against Medusa because you're stealing her intelligence as well.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Well, Roger has found Puppey. No armor right there, and he's going to toss it over towards Yapzor. So should be the end of the aggression most likely, although he still has a Frost Shield, so trading hits here onto Puppey. This Tiny in some trouble, and with the slowdown, the Snowball can come afterwards, but they get the kill first. Doesn't quite get into position in time, and now they also have found the stun there, the sleep onto Lich. But they'll just back out afterwards.
Yeah, Tusk will need to get himself a magic stick as well. On the top lane, you always need to get it tri-lane against the tri-lane, but he's steeping mid. Is he bringing anything? No, he just wants to check the rune.
Okay.
Invis.
Oh, that could make a pretty big difference there. And Slark, I mean, it still feels like it's going to be pretty hard to find the kill, although right now, Slark no mana, does still have a mango.
Oh yeah, I love that he brought a mango since Medusa steals his mana. In case they try to gank him, he has no mana, just pop a mango, use a pounce, and get away from trouble.
Secret off to a hot start right now. Looking like they're topping the last hits pretty much across the board. This Starladder has not really been able to get that much out of the top lane. With the constant aggression, some of those tossbacks, it's dangerous for him to walk forward to hit the creeps.
They need to try to pull the lane back so they have more space to work with. They also need Tusk to hit level 3 so he can block them with the ice shards. Bottom lane is not going to be that interesting to watch. Nothing's happening there. Doom has Hand of Midas recipe already bought. So that's going to be one farm Doom.
You know what the key is? Positive reinforcement can go a long way toward victory.
Oh, that's not what it says on my screen.
You don't need the reminder. You're always a positive guy, right?
Yeah.
Well, 4.5 minutes. It's looking like it's going to get close towards those bounty runes. Should be a little bit more favored towards Zai getting the bottom ones, I would imagine, just having that surge. And, of course, Doom has kind of been stuck underneath his tower for a while here.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Zai is going to pick up the bottom runes, so I expect Virtus.pro to rotate on their side from the tri-lane and try to grab those two.
Some nice shots here. The fans in the stands still sticking around. Also, the police officers looking very interested at the game. We're going to hop back into it now. So, Invis, Tusk, going to be revealed now. Pasha, let's have the Slither and Crush. if they want to try and get aggressive, but it's all about these bounty runes, and it looks like Secret are just going to have to give up the one on VP's high ground.
All right, so Ramsey is going to pick up the bottom ones. I'm surprised that Zai did not go for it.
Yeah. It's a little bit surprising there, but wants to farm out the rest of the camps instead, and also trying to build towards that bottle.
Radiant are scanning.
So top lane, still a very slow game. 1-2, about 5 minutes in. You do see those level 6s online, so Doom can maybe make something happen. Also has the hand of Midas, though, so he's happy as a clam just farming away.
Man, this Doom is going to get so farmed in this game. He's maxing out Devour, Hand of Midas at 5-minute mark. He's just going to build auras for his team. Also, I think Heaven's Halberd is going to be the boss item. But he might go for a different kind of a build on Doom, considering it's a carry Doom and they want him to scale.
Yeah.
So maybe we could see a Radiance build.
Sounds like it'd be pretty nice. Definitely. Looks like pulling that catapult along with them as well. No one heads over to the shrine, and as we've said, this Medusa has fallen pretty far behind the Slark at this point. 35 and 17 on the Slark. But Medusa is obviously one of those heroes that can head back to the jungle and farm away as you get the Avalanche, the long-range toss-back. And well, Nisha has her eyes on Roger, wants to try and find the kill. They're still saving. He has the snowball to try and walk away.
Oh, what a play from Roger. He popped the flask before the snowball, so extra 4 seconds to keep him alive. Has 5 sticks.
And there's going to be the toss back the other direction. They interrupt the stomp, and enough to keep him alive. Roger Tusk still pretty fancy.
And Roger is level 2. He needs 1 more CS to get himself to level 3. Then they're going to have a full combo.
Okay. Pasha, stun, trying to walk away again. Kind of in no man's land here, and wants to get away from the side of Secret. Looks like he might be able to make that escape. They have another Astral Spirit in a second, but mid-1. Juking away, trying to get out of there, but they'll find this kill, it looks like, as the Dark Pack comes out, and 1 more punch, mid-1 gets the kill.
That's a lot of time wasted for Slark. He got the kill, which is good for him, but Medusa's farming both lane and the jungle. She needs to catch up. 18 denies on this Slark. That's amazing.
It's Slark, eat your heart out. Kind of a cool answer. And it has sort of come at the cost, obviously, of this Doom being very, very farmed. But you look at the next 3 net worth, and it's all inhabited by the Dire. Secret feels like all of their cores are kind of coming online, and ET's having a good game as well. Snowball forward, Nisha is going to get caught here. Doesn't have all that much mana, and well, the stomp is going to come to interrupt the chase. It looks like they're going to be able to turn back onto Roger a little bit here. A lot of damage on this guy. He has no snowball. The crush is going to be able to interrupt all of this action. Puppey moving into position as well. Wants to find Pasha, but it looks like instead they're going to focus all of their efforts here onto Roger. Could go for the toss Pasha.
He wants to get to the creep wave.
Trying to run, trying to get over to the snowball, and the turnaround. Are they actually going to keep going forward for this one? They want to try and take down Puppey, but they have another Echo Stomp in a second, interrupting and finding Roger. The turnaround stun is there. Puppey still living through all of this, and they'll find the kill. And Pasha looks like he'll be able to get out of there. So a trade 1-for-1 so far, as Nisha's still chasing off to the side, and Solo, multiple battles going on simultaneously. They decide to try and take down this Lich. The Frost Shield is not going to be enough for the turnaround.
You can see how much they respect each other. These fights are lasting for so long. We can see the dark rotation coming up from Slark. He has Iron Shell plus Arcane.
Yeah, the Surge was on him as well, and he wants to find no one here farming in the jungle. He knew exactly where this Medusa was going to be, but she gets to the shrine. And that might be about the end of it, potentially, is no one just going to TP back to the mid lane. And now the rotation up top as they found Pasha. Secret finding the kill on the Starladder.
And Slark is going to backstab them.
Looking for that jump. Pounce of possibilities. Roger snowballs onto mid-1, trying to pull him out of position, and the chase forward pounce not quite gonna latch, and with that they might need to back out. Still have Shadow Dance if they want to use that as well, and yeah, mid-1 need to trade over aggro, but they're able to get the Sinister Gaze! Almost get him, and there's a nice play with the
Stun.
Shadow Dance TP, but they find the stun!
He got
him. Now mid-1 in a terrible position, has no more mana, does have the Mango, but no pounce, and he got greedy.
Oh man, mid-1 was so greedy, trying to go for a kill underneath the tower. Meanwhile, Medusa just farming on the mid lane, and Doom still no item progression besides that phase boots and Head of Midas, so we don't know what he's gonna go for.
Mid one gets punished heavily. And they did bring that Doom up to the top lane. Just going to move into position to defend this bounty run, it looks like, as Zaya's also come all the way up here and stun. Oh, Puppey able to get the bounty in. Roger, not long for this world, as they will find the kill with the Iron Shell on Zaya, actually.
So the rotated Phantom Assassin on bottom. She is level 6, has 2 raid bands, power threads, maybe a bit under-leveled considering that they were running a tri-lane.
Not what you would want to have happen necessarily, but she's still sitting 3rd in net worth. I did see that the Darkseer was going to go back for the Vlads afterwards, and has that just about completed and flying on the Courier now in a second, I believe.
Yeah, he needs to tank up all the physical damage, mitigation, everything that he can get. Vlad's, Crimson Guard, Guardian Greaves.
Keeps the punches going. So you talked a little bit about the Slark stealing things. He's also going to be going for a Diffusal first item for mid one.
Oh yeah, love that. I hope he sticks with it.
It's like one of those items that we don't often see on him, but feels like it's so good for this particular game, as they're going to have the Echo Stomp again if they want it. Zai, vacuum, pulls back in. Mid one, he's going to get caught here as they have the chase down and making sure that they have Shards play. Oh, what a sick play from Roger.
Slark's rotating so much, and you can feel the difference. Medusa 20 CS ahead of Slark.
It's not just that, it's a slight net worth lead, and they're also taking down these objectives. Tier 1 tower gonna fall in the bottom lane. And with that points and devour, Doom just tanking the tower for Medusa to punch it. And he is getting more and more farmed, has the drums completed on that Doom, and you can see, as you're saying, just Medusa able to get away, and oh, down bottom, doesn't find the toss back. So 12 minutes, 3-7. Nisha can't really jump on this Lich that easily with the 3 points in the Frost Shield.
Not too much action happening.
Yeah. I mean, if you're in this game, is there a side that you feel a little bit more comfortable going into the late game with? Or do you feel like kind of both teams are on even footing?
I mean, if you look at the Team Secret's late game, you're playing against Phantom Assassin, Slark, Elder Titan. Elder Titan is so scary with his natural order. But again, you have a Medusa, Starladder. Now he also scales, and I don't see anything from Doom yet. No, he's not involved in any of the kills. But the hero can scale. Like, he's extremely farmed, has Hand of Midas. At one point, he can just go for a refresher, put the 2 heroes out of a fight. Bash.
Timed it out. The tag team as well. Yapsor, Walrus punched and killed off before the Surge comes into play. And now with the Corrosive Haze, need to be careful on this Darkseer, but the rotation comes from mid one as well, and looking for the pounce. He can potentially catch 2 of these heroes if he wants to. Into Roger, the snowball onto the creep wave. Nice play there, but mid one is waiting for him. Looks like they were able to get out with the Starladder, but Slark keeping his eyes on Roger, and again, able to go for the TP out. Roger is styling on fools.
Wow, man, what a player. And Slark has only 1 level of bounce, so he can't stop the TPs with the new leash mechanic.
Looks like, again, VP, they create a hell of a lot of space, take down the mid-tier 1 tower, so 2 tier 1s gone. Popping drums and thinking about chasing there for Puppey.
Pop that Midas instead, Mr. Doom.
Now, moving in, Zai wants to make something happen here. The Chain Frost turning it back around, and now with the Doom, they have the Centaur Stomp afterwards, stolen from Ramses. He's moving forward, but a good sleep, interrupting the chase. Mid one, wanting to take down this Lich. Solo is going to fall, and they can't quite catch the shards there.
It's a good trade for VP.
Oh, snowball. Mid one, he does have the DD, is able to get that Dark Pact to walk away, but completely out of mana now. Roger wants to chase, has the Walrus Punch. They've also brought in this PA, Nisha, down low on mana. They have the Stomp, is going to connect onto the Medusa, and now they're going to try and isolate her. Puppey is here as well. Avalanche, they have the Stone Gaze, down Solo. Can they kill him off in time? They have the Earth Splitter as well, pulls Ramsey back in, but they're barely able to walk away with Nisha. He does fall, but they find a return kill onto that Slark, and now taking down Roger. Ramses just needs to run his secret, wants to stream forward. This game has just been a back and forth brawl.
Oh yeah, man, I wish Starladder actually TP'd there. He's extremely farmed and went for all these small items, 2 bracers, magic wand, has Vlad's finished, 2 points in Guardian Sprint. He also had a shrine to TP to. He could have saved the Medusa there.
Building up those charges, ready to get his stun. Now the toss on Nisha, a little bit off the mark there. Want to find Ramses, and Ramses actually turns here. Doing a lot of damage on Nisha and wants to find that Infernal Blade, and he is just going to man up against the PA and end her life.
Sometimes you just need to man up.
And he did it for sure. Yapzor going to be controlled here again. Roger gets on the wrong side of the shards this time and taunts away.
Well, most of the time he wanted to be on the other side of his igloo. Oh man, solo, 4 wards. Usually you don't see that from him.
Does mean that they're going to be playing blind for a little while there. And Zai, top lane, has the Corrosive Haze on him. He's getting wrapped on right now as they bring in this Lich, and Pasha gets the punch. Now the turnaround with the Chain Frost. There's a creep wave there. That's very beneficial for Secret because they almost lost everybody. They might lose them nonetheless as Puppey is going to get tossed away trying to walk, but Roger is there. Gives them another couple of pummels, and they're falling away one by one. Secret are showing up for this one. Nisha wants to run out of here. Roger, is he going to be able to bait him away? Not quite enough. And it looks like Secret can stem the bleeding. My goodness.
Pasha, he needs to get that Blink Dagger ASAP. They need some kind of initiation. They can try to run in with the Tusk or with the Sprint, but in the mid game it's not going to be that effective. Slark getting closer to his Diffusal Blade, has 2 blades ready, needs another 700 to finish it.
We're also getting close to that Nisha Battle Fury, but it's a smoke up from VP who want to keep their foot on the gas and are heading to the north where mid one is there with Yapzor.
They want to get a kill, and they also need to place deeper observer wards so they have a vision in their jungle, because they placed 2 same observer wards pretty much.
Oh, and the Sinister Gaze pulls him back in. The Doom is already down, and Yapzor wanting to make some space for his buddy, but mid one is gone, and good avalanche there from Puppey. Keeps Yapzor alive. Ramses is moving so fast, but he can't catch up to him.
I'm glad that Doom decided to go for this kind of an item build. The drums, Crimson Guard, a lot of auras for his team. Starladder has that Vlads we were talking about. They have a tag team as well. So if they get a pick off in the next 2-3 minutes, they could easily go for a Roche, especially with the Starladder ulti.
So with that, a 2,000 gold lead for VP. It's been very back and forth in terms of the kills, but it feels like they're getting a little bit more out of the map. Probably just based off of that Doom Midas and Devourer. He's been kind of that difference maker, it feels like. At least in terms of the net worth battles. Getting set up for this top lane where Secret are looking like they want to come and fight underneath Vision.
Scan just connected, so they're going to fall back. This is a classic switcheroo. When tier 1 tower falls, Dire playing Radiant jungle and the opposite.
She has the Battle Fury done. Going for Deso afterwards. Just wants to be able to play that farming game right now. They're playing underneath some wards, but that's one of the benefits that you can have with Slark, is just controlling the map by taking out those observer wards. And he realizes there's an observer ward right there, takes it out, gets an injection of gold, and now has the Diffusal Blade on its way. Also another ward there. So 2 for the price of 1.
Yeah, that's a lot of vision lost from Virtus.pro. Roger.
On to Roger. Not sure if he was expecting that one. They're able to immediately turn this around, but again, the Sinister Gaze interrupted for the moment. Mid one living through this one. The Chain Frost bouncing back and forth, but mid one can chase forward for Roger if he wants. But there's 4 heroes here. Can the rest of them show up? They have the vacuum, the wall, the pull back in. Now trying to run away from this Stone Gaze, and they're on the right side of the shards this time.
Doom coming? No Doom though.
Need to be careful. The movement forward. Doom wants to take mid one down. Can he kill him off in time? Yes, and oh, jump up to the high ground. Mid one's living. He's outside of vision, but now they spot him out trying to TP away. Is he going to be able to escape mid one? By the skin of his teeth, gets out.
Oh man, Yappy with the zoning Echo Stomp, so they can't get him. The fights are lasting for almost a minute and no one dies. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Phantom Assassin just farming. She's getting really close to that Deso. Physical damage is not going to be that effective, considering that Virtus.pro already has a Crimson Guard, they have a Vlad's, Lich with the Frost Armor.
Asha, realizing that Nisha is nearby, they're going to break the blur, and he's barely able to walk away. Oh, man.
That would be a huge kill if they got it.
Doom, up top, found themselves Puppey, but mid one is also here and wants to turn on to Ramses. They again have that Stone Gaze, need to be careful. And they're going to back out. Oh, he didn't have it up, but still scary stuff walking up high ground. And Doom, looks like he's going to be able to live through that one, Mr. Puppey.
Tusk wants to get himself to level 10, get the GPM going, so he bought the tome for himself.
Can make all the difference getting a good amount of farm on that Tusk. Already very survivable. And it looks like mid lane already so low, very low. And mid one finds the kill, getting a little bit of agi for himself.
Already sitting on 5 permanent agi.
22 stolen right now also. Stacks of it at least.
Yeah, and it's maxed out, so that's gonna last for 2 minutes. Medusa.
Oh my god. Yeah, he is super stacked up right now. Mid one needs to be careful. He's going to back out before the Stone Gaze hits the pounce.
What a block
Going to connect onto Ramses. Backing away the vacuum wall. It's on to 3. This is a Medusa Illusions starting to lay into them. They find the Echo Stomp afterwards. They can focus them one by one by one. And now trying to take down this Medusa. No one completely in no man's land. Puppey very low, will eventually be killed off, but they took down the Medusa. And now the Chain Frost. It only bounced between the creeps and that Slark. So Slark ends up dying, but they took down the Medusa as well. And now Nisha, maybe a bit far forward, is going to be able to blink away.
The amount of physical damage coming out from VP once they use the tag team plus Starladder ulti and the Tusk ulti. Wow!
Good crush, but the turnaround! Nisha was not playing that game.
Give me some frogs in chat. Man, this Starladder disappeared. He's sitting on 16 armor.
Oh my god, and Nisha just feeling like a monster right now.
Frog, and he's going to get a tier 1 tower probably. There's no way Virtus.pro is going to defend this one.
He just finished that Deso and now almost has halfway to a BKB.
Level 16 as well. Went for -3 armor corruption. Let's see the armor on side of VP. Tusk, that's going to go below 0. Doom also 14. Doom's going to have some armor because of the Crimson Guard. Medusa high armor. Same goes for Starladder, but Lich could actually die from a dagger.
This is a real problem right now. Not to mention if you get in range with the ET. So a lot of problems coming up for Virtus.pro after that Deso comes out and going immediately afterwards into, was that a Satanic that he had queued up? Yes, it was.
Right, so he feels he does not need the BKB yet. Just wants to be able to survive. That's going to give him tankiness. Sadly for Team Secret, they just scouted, used the scan, it did not connect. Also, ET Spirit did not see them, and they got the Roche, man. VP somehow gets it. Also, that's going to be on Medusa. She's getting closer to Eye of Scotty. Team Secret smoked. A bit under-leveled. The Puppey, level 8 only. This hero is not going to scale considering that he's playing position 5.
It does create a little bit of a problem there for them, but I mean, he sort of has served his purpose already. And interrupting team fights, throwing out those avalanches. They were smoked up, I think, trying to take that Roche fight, or at least a fight around it, and then move into Roche. But VP recognizing a moment when they could go in and sneak that one. I mean, it does kind of put us in a weird scenario. Do you think that Secret can still fight, even though, well, apparently yes, as they toss forward that Slark, but doesn't look like they want to fully engage as the rest of VP shows up. Mid one needs to get out of here as quickly as possible. The Doom could come out in a second. There's already the Surge, and now the Fear pulling back in that Dark Seer. And Snowball chasing. Looks like they're going to lose.
Wow.
Zai.
Tag team plus Starladder ulti and Tusk ulti. They got him.
2 dead. I mean, that is the danger. Both of these teams just have such high damage boost, it feels like.
Mid one is so quick. Doom blanks in, tries to use the ulti, instant ulti coming out from Slark so that he doesn't get doomed.
Going for that blink dagger on Slark as well, just to stay on top of the backline, blow somebody up right from the get-go. And you can see that Midas has now paid itself off. And a bit more on top of it. But the tier 2 tower going to be assaulted by no one on this Medusa with an Aegis. almost enough gold for that Eye of Scotty.
They're just gonna back off after this tower. Eye of Scotty could be purchased in, yeah, she just needs to sell Raid Band and Fairy Fire.
So the 25-minute mark, the bounty runes will be coming up as well. It looks like VP will secure 3 of them. And Scotty done. Still 2.5 minutes on this Aegis. What do VP want to get done with it?
The problem is Slark is playing against Medusa, so she also has a mana talent on level 15. He needs to be careful. That's why I like the Magic Wand pickup, so he always has mana to cast a spell, even if he gets hit by a Mystic Snake. Phantom Assassin on top of net worth, getting closer. She actually has that Satanic level 20 man she's farmed.
Nisha is out of control right now. Level 20, triple Stifling Dagger. Ready to party, and a 3,000 gold lead for VP though. And actually gonna queue up the Basher next as well. Nisha really not feeling like he needs the BKB that much, and just jumps forward onto Ramses, the hoof stomp. Chasing, looking for that opening, but the blink away from Doom keeps him alive, and now they found themselves another target onto Pasha. They have the stomp to follow this afterwards. The leash is there, no one vacuumed. They're controlling this fight beautifully, force out the Stone Gaze, but now the turnaround mid one needs to get out of there, but he's also being chased down by his own illusion.
Control that illusion.
Oh, good toss forward, but do they have anything else to follow it up? The Doom is there, it's caught out. This PA still living through it for the moment though. With that Satanic, it wasn't popped, but still can get the normal lifesteal. And now the Fear trying to take her down. They will get the kill onto Nisha. Mid one wanting to chase, slowed up by that Diffusal Blade. In the midst of all this, no one trying to take on the whole freaking team, but is out of mana and going to be out of time and going to be out of life as well. They have only lost Puppey and Nisha, and Ramses is leashed, is pounced, is caught, and also going to be killed off as well. 4 dead so far, I think. Have I called this too soon? No,
40
he's dead.
stacks, 42 stacks on Slark. They need to go mid right now. They need to use this damage on Slark. 254.
Oh my god. Yeah, he is a monster. So much agi.
I love the build on him. He just wanted to cut the back line. He does not need to go for a BKB because they don't have that much spell damage besides Lich Ulti. It's easy to dodge Infernal Blade as well.
217 agility right now on this Slark, and he is just chunking through these towers. They have the Frost Shield. Doom is back up in 38, has buyback, but Medusa doesn't. Mid one feeling very strong.
The problem is that Pasha dies before the fight engages. He is not using his spells the way they want to. They want to initiate with him, try maybe to either Doom Darkseer or a Slark. He was kind of forced to Doom a PA, even though it's still a good target.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right, is that, you know, they talk about this being a bit of a greedy draft, but if it works out and you're able to keep one person just hitting away, they'll do enough damage.
Oh, and I'm liking this build on Darkseer. Guardian Greaves, Crimson Guard, Vlad's. He's sitting on almost 30 armor, has so much to provide in a team fight.
And we saw in that last one as well, just throwing out the illusions from Medusa, every little bit that no one gets stronger. Darkseer helps to turn that back against his own team. So Sanjin Yasha is actually going to be the pick for ET. A little bit of status resistance, a little bit of extra movement speed.
Look at me, I'm the damage dealer now.
Nisha gets stunned by Pasha, but the chase is coming, and they have the crush afterwards, and Nisha
Frog
just does too much damage.
1.4k crit. That's a triple Stifling Dagger, Gabe.
That's terrifying. And I mean, look at them. They're spoiling for a fight. They snowball. They want to try and burst down this Slark, but he's already got the Shadow Dance up. They're right on top of a shrine. They have the Doom also onto PA. If she can live through this long enough, the slowdown that comes, Ramses can't stay on top of PA. Bisha's perfectly fine walking away.
Surge.
They've already killed off one, and now mid one on top of this Starladder. He's able to get the Dark Pact off afterwards. They finally get the Stone Gaze, and is going to be able to stun up several, but these heroes are so survivable. They can't do anything. The toss, trying to chase, and there's Yapzor looking for the stomp. Zaya's here as well, has the vacuum. Pull it back in, the blink forward from mid one. Doesn't have a pounce, but doesn't freaking need it. They find themselves another kill, and right now, VP is paper.
Yeah, that could be a game. Slark, 30 intelligence, 30 agility, sorry. They're going to go for range racks. They still have enough time. Medusa, Slark, Look at him.
It's too much damage.
It's too much damage.
You
and
bring
they
in
have.
Yusha?
The problem is, if you Doom, Phantom Assassin, Darkseer is going to be there to use the Surge, her away from the battle. And the only control they have is the Starladder, so they can't afford that Starladder dies first.
14 stolen Agi, and as you said, moving forward for this tier 3 tower in the top lane, there's going to be 2 lanes of barracks potentially. They buy back on the Medusa, and it looks like Secret want to play it safe and just retreat as they get ready for the next Roche spawn.
They got what they wanted. Buyback from Medusa, from Starladder, so they know if they get a pick off on one of those, it's a safe Roche for them. Roche could respawn in 30 seconds.
10,000 net worth lead at this 30-minute mark. You can see just the drop-off, how significant it's been. And it feels like it's pretty much since that Satanic pickup from PA. Not that that's made the biggest difference in the world, but it's, as you said, you doom one, the other one kills you.
Look at the build on Slark, man. Mid one, going for Moonshard.
Oh my god.
So he's going to have extra night vision, and Slark is one of the few heroes who has night vision by himself. So he can see what's happening. Nighttime. Let's see, 4 minutes until nighttime.
Not to mention just like the extra procs for bashes and stealing all the Agi in the world. It's really a monster. First time this event for Slark. I think this is one of the first Slark games we saw as well. So this could be something else to keep in mind here. You talked about one of the problems with the all melee strat is staying on top of the heroes. Now you've got AoE Surge.
And with AoE Surge, they can push out the waves easily. You use Ion Shell on a creep, use a Surge, and the creep wave comes to enemy side.
That can be a much bigger way to push out those lanes.
You get all the info. If they're trying to sneak into Roche Pit, what are they doing by having your lane shoved out?
Yep. So 9,000 net worth lead. Secret trying to take down this shrine here as well. It does look like Doom has an Aghanims queued up, which can be kind of nice breaking the passives, obviously, of the PA would be one of the big ones. But it looks like, I mean, it's still just going to be so hard.
They need to proc this Lincoln Sphere on Phantom Assassin. That's going to be a huge problem. Doom does not have an item, nor the creep.
Looks like Slark is going to go for the Dark Pack damage instead of the Pounce Leash. Also went for the Doom DPS. But it's felt over the past couple minutes of his VP, their draft has just been so ineffective. They haven't been able to take a solid fight. They haven't really been able to take objectives. It's been tough.
Man, Pasha's been caught out of position so many times in this game. He's usually the stable one. You can always rely on Pasha. Smoke Surge coming out from Team Secret.
All right, this is terrifying. Look at these guys just run at you. And Ramses, he gets found right there. Oh, good reactions, Blink, but the chase. Trying to find it. Mid one doesn't want to get doomed, but still wants to chase over here. And now they move forward with the PA as well. Ramses doesn't know where to look. He does throw out the Doom.
They got him.
It's going to be able to connect there. Now the snowball, the follow-up. This could be pretty good, but the Earth Splitter connects. The vacuum, they pull them all up onto the high ground. They're going to try and TP out of there now. Can they get out in time? They're able to escape, at least for the moment, with one, but now no one caught for the moment. They throw him back on top of all of it in the long-duration sleep. With PA dead, though, they might just decide to back out.
There's not enough space that fits the whole team on this high ground.
Oh my goodness. And Pasha kept on getting his blink broken by the illusions. So he was stuck up there for a little while.
I did not see if Doom had mana burn to pop the Lincolns, or it was a Mystic Snake that popped it. But good spell casting from Virtus.pro in that fight. And let me just check if PA has a buyback. She does not. 400 gold away.
Is this the beginning of something here? I mean, they're into the pit, and Secret realizing that they pick up a DD. It's stolen away by mid one. The reaction came out so quickly, and now the Avalanche toss mid one, stealing away that DD. Can he blow him up in time? They don't have that much cover for this Medusa. No one is being focused, but they almost bring down him, and there's the vacuum pulling it back into everybody. They need to buy back immediately from Slark to try and get into this fight. Puppey chasing. They have the Avalanche. They have the toss, and a triple kill coming from Yapzor. Roche is open.
Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, they're just gonna call the game. Oh. They bought back on Medusa before they bought back on Starladder, which means they do not have it now. And with the Slark buyback, it means that he's gonna be the one picking up the Aegis. They're already missing a side, so hard to fight into. Man, they managed to win with 5 melee heroes.
What a weird game, too. Like, the entire time, it kind of felt like it was on the edge, and then the jump forward, the itemization, like, very odd itemization coming from Secret, but it was exactly what they needed to win the game.
Oh, yeah, I love the item build, especially on the Slark. He did not need to get a BKB, and the Darkseer as well. No Blink Dagger, just tank up, get all those team fighting items. They group up as 5, and man, they look so strong in that game.
Definitely. Man, in that last second, the blink in to steal the DD away. You think about if Dusa gets that, I mean, it potentially could change stuff around, but you can see the crowd is feeling pretty positive about Team Secret right now. They're liking what they're seeing, and we're liking it as well. We're going to head to a quick break, though. Game number 2 is going to be coming right around the corner.